Hi friends, I am Paige Delosier and I'm here with Talking Points. Whether you are watching live or tomorrow or another day pre-recorded, whether you're watching from Facebook or YouTube, we are super happy to have you and excited about the back to school season, especially this year. It is the 24-25 school year, which is blowing my mind. It's just now starting. Today is August 1st. And what's so special about this school year is that we have a slew of new features to tell you about, and that is exactly what we are going to talk about today. So if you've never joined me on the Talking Points Ask Me Anything, here's how it goes. We'll talk about something related to talking points or family engagement, and then you'll have plenty of time to drop any of your questions, FAQs in the chat. I'll answer as many as I can, as well as reaching out to our support team. And then I will issue you a challenge for family engagement, a challenge within your Talking Points account or in family engagement in general. And then I'll meet you back here next Thursday. One of the things that I want to let you know is that we will only be live streaming on Facebook and YouTube from now on. Twitter, or X, is now requiring a premium subscription to do live streaming. So we are going to stick to YouTube and Facebook for now, and we'll let you know if that changes. But if you miss our live stream because you're still in school or because you've got other plans, then you will always be able to watch these afterward. So very excited to start the year off right with a session with all of our educators, and super excited to share with you what we have new for this school year. So the first thing I want to share with you is that if you are using Talking Points, the Talking Points for Teachers app on the web or on your phone, the one for free, as always, that one stays free for you to use. You can still use it with up to 200 students. You can still send messages, announcements. You can attach photos, documents, videos. You can poll individual teachers using Talking Points. It is as fabulous as it has ever been, and we are constantly providing updates and fixes as those things happen throughout the year. So we will be providing that fabulous service as always. And now to what we've all been waiting for. What is new in the Talking Points for Schools and Districts product this school year, back to school 2024. So what we want to help you do, whether you are a classroom teacher, a counselor, a librarian, a nurse, a principal, or a district administrator, we want to be able to help you realize that family engagement is a superpower to drive consistent, high-level, equitable student outcomes. And there are so many different student outcomes that family engagement does have an impact upon, and that Talking Points can help you with, while making your job easier, not while adding additional work. So let's look at what those are. We've looked at this slide a million times. Just a reminder that effective family engagement can have an impact, and you can see some of those numbers here. It's 2 times more effective in predicting a student's success than their family's socioeconomic status. That's the number that blows my mind every time. And it equates to an additional $1,000 per student to a school's annual budget. So if you're the one thinking about funding, if you're the one thinking about budgeting, family engagement is something to consider. So when we're looking at our new features and the support that we've added into the product, we have some things that are additional for everyone, some things that are tools, some things that are embedded as best practices, and then some things that are going to be additional I'm trying to think of the word, optional, yes, optional add-ons for our school and district products. So we'll talk about those and which ones they are as we go along. So here's a overview list of what those featured products are, but I won't make you read this whole list. We're going to look at each one individually because they are very exciting, and a lot of them are features that have been asked for a long time, and we've taken our time to build them out to be as impactful and as helpful to educators as possible. So first, we're going to look at Talking Points' new features and functions. The first one that we have is the Talking Points Admin mobile app. So if you are someone in a Talking Points school and district account who has access to an admin account, whether you're a school principal or a district administrator, and you've had to use the web for all of your communication until this point, you now have access to the admin app. You can go into your App Store or Google Play and find Talking Points for Admin. We know that you are on the go. We know that you're moving as much, if not more than teachers around the school to every classroom. And you may need to reach into your pocket to use your cell phone as well. So you can send messages and announcements while you're moving around. And we're going to keep adding more to this mobile app from feedback that we get from our partners, and allow you to do more and more while you're moving around. So that's one very exciting addition that we've made to the product. Another great enhancement that we've made is Talking Points Analytics. So we've always provided data for administrators and for teachers within their accounts. But this is an enhanced dashboard. You can access the kinds of actionable data needed to drive systemic improvement in family engagement across your schools, across your district. So you can really break everything down into you can see which families are being engaged, which teachers are getting engaged, which schools are getting engaged, depending on what level of administrator you are. You can look at languages, you can look at dates for when everyone has been engaged, and the frequency of engagement. There are so many different data points to drill down to, and the visuals are very easy to understand, very user-friendly, and each of these data points are able to be downloaded as PDFs, so or images. You'll be able to look at that in your dashboard. So this is one of the very helpful improvements that we've made to your account. Talking Points base and custom roles. So one of the things that we know about every school, every district, every student, everything in those places is a little bit different. And one of those things that is different is the different roles in each school, in each district. It's not going to be the same. It's not going to be called the same thing. For example, I've talked to a lot of teachers in different districts where we have ESOL teachers, ESL teachers, ELL teachers, ENL teachers, and I could go on. And so that's just one example, but when you go into your district account and you are creating these roles for your educators, you are able to create custom roles as needed, particular to your district, to your school, and giving them the permissions that they need in order to be the most successful and the most engaged. Every district, it's not a one size fits all. It's not one Band-Aid that applies to every account. So we are making sure that it is the most helpful, the most useful for you and your needs. So it's just right permissioning, so everyone can engage with families effectively, regardless of your role. And any flexibility that you need, that's what we're providing with those custom roles. Another great feature that we have added on this fall is Talking Points student messaging. I know that a lot of educators, especially in the high school arena, are wanting to communicate directly with students. There are a lot of students 13 and up who kind of start to own their own education, whether they do live on their own or they have parents who are super busy with their other jobs, and these students need to know about practices or about their own homework or what have you. And so educators need to be able to communicate directly with students. So we have added student messaging to meet that need, and you'll be able to message students and their contacts, students alone, and contacts alone. So you'll have that option as well within your platform, and students will be able to use the app or texting just as families do. But we have taken our time to build out this function, ensuring that it is safe and privacy focused, it's secure, and that students must be verified within your SIS and verify their own phone numbers to make sure that it is done the right way and that family engagement, student engagement can be done in a safe and secure way. And we do have some really good resources on our Help Center and on our website and on our YouTube to show how that works within your platform. If you want to find some more details there on student messaging. All of these features as well, you can learn more about on the Help Center, on our YouTube, and by reaching out to our team. I'll give you some links for those at the end of this. Talking Points regional segmentation is another feature, that we've added this fall. So regional segmentation is for those educators, those administrators who are in districts where you're connected to multiple schools, maybe in a regional situation. Every district, once again, is slightly different. And so there are needs that must be met in different ways in every district, every region. And so it allows for messaging families in ways that capitalize on the reasons districts have grouped subsets of schools. So allowing you to group those schools, message them appropriately. And again, it's kind of that customization that districts and administrators will need in order to engage families appropriately and the way that they need to get information out in a quick, easy way without adding time and adding work. Yeah, and there's going to be more information like that about this one on our site as well. Okay, so this is the first few features. This second grouping, and again, our Ask Me Anything sessions are fairly quick, so I'm just going over these in like a quick overview. Feel free to throw any questions you have into the chat. I'll also add some links to additional resources in the chat, and you can always reach out to our team with more questions as well. But the next grouping of additions, enhancements, are research-based embedded engagement support. So these are features or tools that are based in family engagement research, and use best practices to guide educators in using those best practices. So for example, this is Message Mentor. This is one of my absolute favorites as a former teacher, something I would definitely use constantly. So when you are composing a message in Talking Points as a teacher or administrator, you can save time by typing in either the theme of a message or a short version of a message that then you can click right here, this little magical sparkle button. This is the Message Mentor that will return suggested best practice language you can use it immediately, you can edit it, change it a little bit, or you can throw it away and start over. Totally up to you. We will never just like send it right along without your edit. And we were practicing this with some teachers at a couple of conferences, and they absolutely loved it. They would throw in a message with spelling errors, grammatical errors. They would type something that they wouldn't really say directly to a family, but just kind of sloppy, and it would bring out this beautifully written, well-crafted message with action steps applied to it as well, so that the family not only knew what was going on, understood the information, but knew what was expected of them as well. And I will demonstrate this one in a moment after we go through these different features and what they are. We've also added attendance engagement tools. So one of the things that has been asked of us a lot is, how can I use Talking Points to impact attendance, to improve attendance, to keep record of attendance? And so what we've found to do is a set of messages that are templated, that are school-based, once per week, created universally for all families, and ready to schedule for the year. So if you are in an account that has the attendance engagement tools, you will see the tab on the left that says attendance, and then be able to select which messages you'd like to use. Again, you can edit them to add in some personalization, but they talk about how important attendance is, the effect it has on student success, and then you schedule those out for increments throughout the year so families are consistently reminded about that importance and about what they can do to make sure their child is there. And then absence reporting is also a huge part of that. So making sure families understand how they can share reasons for absences, making sure their voice is heard, and then excuse me, it says absence reasons can be analyzed to provide targeted, preventative, and early intervention absence support. And I know attendance affects so many different things within a school and within a district. It can be funding, it can be student success. Obviously, if they're not there, they are not learning. So this is a huge tool that is going to make a very big difference in a lot of schools. So very pumped to see how this one's used. So a lot of educators have used a version of this tool before. In the past, you may have heard us talk about the Help Me Understand feature. So this is TalkingPoints enhanced messaging support. If you hover over a message or look in your app, next to any message, there's a question mark to help explain a message that may have come through and not quite made sense, or just needs some further explanation. So this enhanced messaging removes confusion that can naturally happen through quick messaging by giving any family contact the ability to receive on-the-spot clarity when they need it without adding a task for school staff. So this doesn't send it back to you to have to rewrite or answer questions about, but it's built-in support when something is beyond translation and needs to be explained. It gives them guidance to better understand whether it's context, terminology, or the content itself. And all they have to do is press a button. So we've just added more and enhanced that process for them for a better experience. And this one actually is available for all teachers, all educators, regardless of account type. Family engagement insights for teachers. So one of the things that is incredibly important when it comes to family engagement is that it is universal, is that you are reaching every family, you are engaging with every family. And how will you know that that's happening if you don't see the numbers? If you don't see, I've reached out to this number of people, I've missed this many have responded. So instead of having to click into your analytics dashboard to see those numbers every day, your main page is going to show you this little box that says family engagement in the last 30 days. So you can get a very quick overview of how many families have not received a direct message and how many have not responded, so that you can click on that list and see, okay, who should I reach out to because they have not heard from me, so that you are engaging every family in some way. It might even be the families who just need a positive message because it didn't feel like they needed to hear from me, but you know what? Telling them their kid is doing great is family engagement. So reach families you've never reached before with in-the-moment guidance about who has not engaged. And best practice tips. These are going to be tips just like the one in the green box that are based, again, on best practice family engagement research to give weekly tips and reminders on what types of things we can be messaging families about and talking to families about with templates, encouragement to keep that family engagement ongoing. That one's great. Pretty self-explanatory, very easy. You can click it, you can use it, or you can ignore it, totally up to the user. And the last two, before we move on to questions, Talking Points optional add-on solutions. So if you are the decision maker who chooses to do a school-wide, district-wide Talking Points account, these are two things that could optionally be added to that account. And they are, one, document translation. We have had this request for a long time, and the reason it's taken a while is because we want to do it right. And so now we have added document translation to our paid school and district accounts, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It's fast and simple to send PDF and DocX documents attached to a message, and then the family who receives it can view it in both English and translated to their home language. And we do not recommend using it for legal documents such as IEPs, but think about those newsletters you're sending home, those documents that are explaining the field trip we're going on or the syllabus at the beginning of the year. If they are using the app, they will have the document in their app. If they have SMS, they'll still get a link to it. And it's just so much easier than throwing something in a backpack. That's what I always think about. And the last one, but definitely not least, because it is a big one, is TalkingPoints Admin Family Connect. This is a way for administrators specifically to engage all families in an equitable way using multiple channels. So of course they have access to messaging. Of course they have access to video, because those are things that have existed in our platform prior. We have added audio messaging for administrators so that if there are families who need to hear a message, or if this is a time-saving solution, or if you have used robocalls in the past, this is kind of a solution for that. We've also added email messaging and polls, another famous Talking Points feature. And when you put all of these together, an administrator is really able to engage all families in a multitude of ways that will allow them to just make their job so much easier and be engaged with everyone. So I am going to switch back here, and I would love to demonstrate Message Mentor real quickly for anybody who wanted to see it. So I'm going to share my screen. Yes, okay. So Message Mentor is the feature I was talking about earlier, where you can write a theme for a message, or you can write a very brief message and it will rewrite it or suggest a version that's a bit more polished. So for example, I could say back to school, encouraging, go Wildcats. Okay, so I'm going to see what it suggests for that. I could just edit the spelling and grammar. I could revise the message, or I'm going to draft it from keywords, because this time I just used keywords. Hello, parent. We are so excited to welcome your student back to school. Let's make this year amazing. Please encourage student to give their best effort every day. Go Wildcats. Your support is appreciated. Thanks. How much time did I just save by not writing that whole message? But it's a beautiful message welcoming them back to school. It's personalized to our school community, and I love it. So I could accept it and edit it, change some things, and then send. I could say, no, that's not exactly what I wanted. Totally up to me. Let's try another one. So let's say I'm really frustrated at the end of the day because Joe has a ton of missing assignments and I need their family to know. So Joe has 7 missing assignments. Turn them in. Now that is not, that's not a very compassionate way to send a message. It doesn't give them the method by which to turn in assignments, but I'm running out of time. I'm not in the best mood. So I'm going to see if Talking Points can help me out here. I'm going to revise that message. Parent, student has 7 missing assignments. Please help him complete and turn them in. Missing assignments affect grades and learning. For help, check the school website. Ooh, that's great. Thank you for your support. So there are action steps. There's information about why those missing assignments are important. I love this message. I could accept and edit it and enter that website. I could, make any changes I need. I could schedule it. And that is Message Mentor, which I absolutely love. So I am going to allow any questions now, which are always allowed. I'm not just allowing it now. And I'm going to throw some links in the chat, because if you just saw those amazing features, you probably want to click and find out more. So let me send you a few things. First, I'm going to share with you the link to good grief, these links are not working. Okay. I'm going to send you a link to request a demo. If you don't have a Talking Points account and you are the person that would decide if your school or district has Talking Points, that's the link for you. So click on that one right there. If you already have a Talking Points account and you didn't know about all this stuff and you just need to log in, you just need to go to talkingpts.org and click login. The rest of you, if you are individual teachers and you would like to start using your account today to start connecting with families, you can click here. Those are some very helpful links for you to become a Talking Points user and connect with all your families in these amazing ways. Again, we will answer questions. If you're watching this later and we're not live anymore, still post your questions. I'm always watching our social media and I will answer those questions for you. And we are going to be doing these Ask Me Anythings every Thursday on YouTube and Facebook. So hop on with us or watch them after the fact. This was a longer discussion because there were so many features to show you, but other times we'll talk for about 15 minutes and then do lots of questions. So I'm here to answer those questions for you. If you're having trouble with your account, if you have questions about it, if you want to know best practices for engaging with families, we are here for you because our goal is to get you engaged with families. And last but not least, I have a challenge for you. And that is to either log into your account or to register for your free account today to start the year off on the right foot. Today is August 1st, and that means we are officially in back to school season. So let's start by prioritizing families, prioritizing students, and prioritizing the relationships we're going to build that will get us to the end of the year with succeeding students. I think that's a great way to start, and Talking Points is the best solution to use in order to do that. So I will see you next Thursday, and I look forward to all your questions in the chat. Thanks again for joining us, and reach out to us with anything you need to know. I'll see you next week.